This podcast is a special one. My family's gonna get all excited because they're obsessed with you. I have my good friend on the show today, Coach Eimear Reddin. She's the assistant women's soccer coach at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm saying that right, right?
Yeah,
RPI. Such a
yeah.
badass. I don't know if I can cuss on here. Maybe I should look that up before I post it. But Emer just wrapped up their soccer season, so she's finally able to bless us with her presence today. And we're going to pick her coaching brain to help athletes see what coaches really like to look for in their athletes, both on and off the field, and especially in the recruiting process. So, for the athletes that are listening, do your best, try to have one or two solid takeaways by the end that you can really start implementing into your day to day. So, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit, kind of give the listeners a background on your coaching career and where you're at right now?
Yeah. So obviously at RPI, this was my fourth season here, which loving every day of it. But before there, I was at Springfield College where I got to meet Georgia and be Georgia's roomie for 2 years. And then prior to that was at Iona College for 1 year coaching, and then got my undergrad degree at Averett University in Virginia. I just grown up playing soccer, loving soccer, and I just can't let it go yet.
Yes. So obviously lots of soccer and coaching experience. I can't believe this is your fourth season with RPI. I didn't realize that. And RPI, I don't know if you mentioned this, it's in New York for those of
Yes.
you who don't know. So let's dive right in, E. As a coach, we'll just start with recruiting maybe. What do you really like to look for in your athletes? Like what things will make you just immediately cross them off your list or immediately add them to your list?
I think the biggest thing is out on the recruiting trail, watching them when they are on the field, warming up with their team, when they come off the field. I think especially coming off the field shows a lot about a person whenever if they come off and chuck their water bottle, or if they come off and high five all their teammates, if they come off stay engaged in the game, or if they are disconnected and just thinking about what they did and not focusing on the team is a big one for me. So I really like obviously when you get to the field and see someone come off, it's not great, but getting to see that interaction and how they accept that is usually tells a lot about who they are. Human side of things is big for us. So like if they're a good human, what and like digging into what they like to do for fun outside of soccer. And it doesn't need to be like volunteering. It can be as simple as like on Saturday nights, I like to do puzzles with my family. Like, what are you doing as a human? It doesn't need to be scripted. Actually, give a flow to the conversation is always nice when you're talking on the phone with them, like getting to know them as a human.
Right. I'm so glad you're saying that too, because I have a lot of athletes who will get nervous for the recruiting phone calls and then they end up being so robotic trying to give these like perfect answers.
Yeah, like always talking about the extracurriculars that they've been made do at high school. We know they're being made to do them. It looks good. Are you choosing to hang out with your family on Saturday nights, or are you sitting scrolling on TikTok on your own? Like,
Mm.
what are you choosing to do? So trying to dig into that with questions on the phone. Soccer side of things, I think like athletic ability obviously takes you a very long way, and especially if you play other sports, like huge, giving you a different appreciation for all of the games, but usually gives you a good appreciation of what you're doing.
Glad that you're saying that one too, especially just from coming from a college coach. I want everybody to hear that because we specialize at like the age of 10.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like on our team, we have so many really great basketball players, like different fundamentals, but it's translating and they're really good at basketball.
Do they just go and play pickup games with each other?
Intramurals were pretty big on basketball and actually volleyball.
Yeah, so you support the intramurals as a coach.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Gives them a whole newfound respect for other people, and it exposes your own weaknesses too.
It's humbling.
Yeah, for sure. Very humbling. And I think, yeah, it's just a great experience.
Mhm.
But outside of that, a good teammate and an internal drive, I think is something that has came more and more popular. And I definitely think COVID exposed it too. But like you need to find what fuels you inside. And
Mhm.
everybody always says like your fuel or like what are you doing when no one else is watching? And it's easy to go to a field if someone tells you like, what are you doing when no one else is watching? Okay, like I'll go to the field today on my own,
Mhm.
but that's one day. how are you gonna continue to do that every day? So you need to dig deep and find what fuels you and why you're doing it. I think that's what ultimately makes the greatest teammate and player.
Which is huge because if you don't have that why as to what you're doing, then you get to college. And I see a lot of athletes, they'll start playing for playing time or to impress you as a coach. You're like, oh my gosh, what's my coach thinking? And then they're like, I can't make mistakes and I have to play to impress. And they've just completely lost sight of that drive and am I doing this? Your answer should be because you love it. And if it's not, then there's probably going to be some issues down the road.
Yeah, and, like, that can change from day to day, week to week, but I think being locked in on, "Today, this is why I'm doing it."
Mm.
Yes, for the year, maybe because 'cause you're a senior and you're doing it because of that, but I think day to day, week to week, it can change.
Yeah, right, especially, like, when it gets really cold up there and there's just 0 motivation to go outside, like, "Why am I doing this again?"
Yes, for sure,
Yeah. Well, and everything that you said, it's all controllables, and I
for
think
sure.
yeah, athletes don't really realize that, especially going into showcase tournaments or tryouts. They're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I have to play perfectly," when you're literally saying, "I actually kinda hope that they make mistakes so I can see how they're responding when they get off the field."
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
and how are you responding towards your teammates when you're the one making the mistakes? Like, it's okay.
but I'm very curious to ask you this. Do you stalk their social medias when you're recruiting them?
I think I tend to go down that road if there's like a lack of communication or if we get on the phone and it doesn't feel super engaging, then I'll start to go see who they are more as a person if I can't get a grab on it on the conversation or if I'm picking up on something I want to see it out.
So it's like a not last resort, but just something you do like down the road.
Yeah, because I think again, they all have their recruiting Instagrams, so
Mm,
it's filtered anyways,
mhm.
which we look at those, but I
Not
think personal.
friends, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of like the recruiting Instagrams and the platforms, how do you feel about those as a coach? Because I feel like they're just exploding now with like the NCSA stuff and they're having their recruiting coordinators reach out to you. What's your opinion on that?
yeah, I think we actually have a good relationship with NCSA, and I think being a STEM school, it can be helpful in that sense because they can just send us over athletes that are interested in STEM. It's good. But again, obviously hearing from that athlete before a recruiting coordinator sends over their stuff. At least a simple email of them introducing themselves and not you never wanna see your name be sent by someone else before you reach out.
Okay, so you're recommending make sure you as an athlete reach out to the coaches first before your recruiting coordinator or platform does.
Yeah, for sure. It looks much better. And yeah, your recruiting coordinator reaching out, that shows interest because obviously you're talking to them, but I think you being on it is much better than a recruiting coordinator.
Right. I feel like it shows that you're putting the work in and this is something that you want. You're not just paying someone to do it all for you.
100%.
Yeah. And yes, it's a lot of work, but it's for a good cause. It's for a good reason.
Yeah. And it's back to like, what's your fuel? Like, if you don't have fuel to show up at practice, that's a lot of work. So if you don't have the energy to send the email to us, then maybe it's not the right fit.
Right.
That's your sign.
An email that would take not even 5 minutes. What about along that line, parents reaching out to you in the recruiting process? What do you think of that if a parent emails you instead of the athlete?
Yeah, I think obviously athlete first. Parents reaching out if there's like a connection of any sort or an alum, like happy to hear it, happy to see the email and thank them for it, but I want to hear from their daughter. We have when it's gotten further down in the process and we've offered the position to the athlete and their parents have stepped in and been like, this is my daughter's concern, or this is like they're nervous to move away from home. That's always helpful. It's not really the recruiting process, but more like move in day. I appreciate like parents being like, so and so is nervous about moving in, or this is their concern so we can keep an eye on them. But up until it's almost official, I feel like it's not good to see. Obviously, it's good to know that their parents support them, but you can't do their laundry when they're here, so stop
Right.
doing their work for them.
Yeah, I feel like the recruiting process is kind of the first very big, like, independent step, having those adult conversation. If you wanna play in college, this is something that you need to chase, your parents can't do it for you. Yeah, right. But yeah, I agree, like, the whole, like, if, "Hey, so and so is a little nervous today, just giving you a heads up," like, that's actually nice to know because you know the athlete isn't gonna tell you themselves, right?
Yep, for sure. We've gotten many parents be like, "So and so would not be happy if I told you this," but
Right.
it's great to look out for them and just to keep that extra eye, and obviously, as a parent, shipping your daughter off is a scary and big step, so
Mm.
it's nice to let them have a say or let their voice be heard.
Right. I was just talking to someone earlier today, and he does a um, cool process with athletes who are transitioning from high school to college, kind of preparing them more of what to expect. And like, that's such a good idea because that transition from high school into college is so unknown and it can be really scary. So, if we're going down that path, what are some of the things that you all do with your freshmen that just help them feel a little more comfortable maybe that first week or just feel a little bit more prepared as to what they're getting into?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough transition because you go from being the best of the best, that's why you're at college, the best athletically, academically, and then you end up being average
Bottom
and the
of
same
the
as
bowl.
yeah, the same as everybody else, possibly, especially as a freshman coming in, like, you're dealing with nerves, you're dealing with a new team, new living situation. It's a lot. I think I mean, the best advice is being open about it and
Mm,
chatting with your coach about your thoughts and feelings is a good way to help just lift that stress. If someone else knows about it, it's always better than just you holding on to it.
yes, and talking so you want athletes, you want your players, to come talk to you.
Well, for sure. For sure, yeah, it always makes them feel better, but it's also I mean, we're all in this for relationships. We like to build relationships. It's the only way that we're gonna get better as a unit, like, and that's only gonna happen through conversations. So coming and saying, "I'm a little bit nervous today," or "I had a lot of classes today," like, perfect. Like, today's not the day that you are gonna achieve anything crazy, but you're gonna get by and you're gonna be surrounded by your team, and it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, I love what you just said there, like, relationships are why you do it and helping them grow, and I
Yeah,
feel like I tell my athletes all the time because maybe if they have a scary coach or they're just mind reading them a whole lot, like, go talk to them because every time they do talk to them, it, like, lifts this weight off their shoulders. They're like, "Oh my gosh, had the best conversation with coach." Like, why don't you consistently do that? Like, every single week, even if they are scary, but going to talk to them, that's going to make them seem less scary. It's gonna make them seem like more of a human.
for sure, and I think the one thing that they forget to think about is, like, it's our job. So when we get to practice, yes, we're task orientated because that's how everybody else is in the workplace.
Mhm.
We're trying to accomplish things, we're setting up drills, we're going through drills, it's thing after thing, but it's not anything personal, it's what we're trying to get done, but one conversation will like, is easy to happen throughout all that, but until that is initiated, we're trying to get done, like, we're respectful of their time, but yeah, it's always open to a conversation.
Yeah. So, athletes, go talk to your coach, even if it's like just what you have for breakfast this morning or, yeah, what your class schedule is looking like. That is helpful, but probably not the best idea to have a casual conversation at practice because, like what you said, you guys are, I mean, that's your performance time. That is we are task oriented, getting the job done. This is what we're executing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I think we do a good job of we do passing lines before practice, and I think that's kind of a where we're disconnecting from class, we're disconnecting from life, we're getting into the soccer zone, but yeah, I wanna hear what you had for lunch, I love food.
Right. Like, what was the dining hall so crappy today, or was it pretty good?
Yeah, like, that is the time for it, the first 15 minutes, like, let's talk about it, but
Yeah.
once we have that done, then we're on to business.
Yeah, let's talk about roommate drama too.
Hopefully not.
That's always a good one. I just had one of my athletes, it was a freshman, and she had this terrible roommate situation, and she was volleyball, so fall athlete, and she finally went up to her coach and got the coach involved. Coach made one phone call, and she was moved out and into a single dorm room that day. Like,
Huge.
you're a coach, right? Like, you have some power as a student athlete. Make sure you use that.
Yeah. That's what we're there for, to
Yeah.
help problem solve. We got it.
Talking more about, like, on the field kind of trait, what are some characteristics that you feel like make up the best players at the collegiate level? I'm sure athletes would love to pick your brain on that one.
I think again, the self-motivation one, like what's your fire?
Mm.
Athleticism for sure, which it can be worked on. You can get faster, you can get fitter. I think someone who's willing to embrace change, like college, we're not always going to play the same formation. We're not always going to have the same style of play. It's going to be different from high school. It's going to be different from club. It's just different, and embracing change is huge. Each coach may think you can play in a different formation or in a different position. So I think being open to that. But I think the best player and something that makes the best team is like good teammates. So if you are someone that's really well respected throughout the team, people are going to listen to you, people are going to follow you, people are going to do what you're doing. And if it's all great things, it's going to lead to a very winning team. Like, for example, goalkeeper, a huge position. You see the whole field, you can instruct everyone in front of you. And if your voice is respected, things are going to happen for you. So I think being a good teammate leads to some of the best teams.
Yeah, just and building trust with them on the field,
Mhm.
of course, but also like off the field, right? Like go to dinner with each other and hang out outside of soccer and go to the library and study together. But that's where good teams are really built, I feel like, is just in their connections off the field.
Yeah, like our team last night, they went sledding. We got a lot of snow yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Sledding is way more important than a team meeting. Go
So
have fun.
right. Yes. Just so like the connections, be a good teammate, make sure you aren't isolating yourself.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's a huge one.
Right. When an athlete, I want to hear your opinion on this, but when an athlete is in college and they're telling me that they're going home every single weekend, I'm like, "Oh, you are just setting yourself up for complete failure on your team because you're missing out on all that bonding time."
Yeah, going home on the weekend is not going to be helpful for your relationships, but also your playing time. If you don't have relationships with people on your team, you're not going to feel comfortable at practice, which in result is not going to have you on the field or on the court when it
Right.
comes to it.
Yeah, and if you feel uncomfortable, then you're probably worrying about what your teammates are thinking of you. Whereas if you don't have to be best friends with everybody, but if you're friends with everyone and you, I don't know, turn the ball over, you know they aren't going to be thinking that you're an awful person. You're like, okay, well, they're my friends. I know that they still have my back and they aren't thinking much of that.
Yeah, goes back to being a good teammate. Everybody's willing to do and work hard for each other if you're liked and respected. So
Mhm.
if you're doing all you can do, people are going to do all they can do for you if you turn the ball over.
Right. Yeah. And going along with that, what are just some things that you see your players do that make them really good teammates? I'm thinking of like the person who shags the ball that's just way across the field that nobody else wants to go shag.
Yep. That someone who's always coming carrying cones, like we set up a drill, we're moving on, but we can let them sit there, but somebody's always picking them up. Yeah, the people that's always going the extra mile, like saying thank you. As
Mm,
an athlete, you get fed food, you get lunch, you get dinner when you're on the road. You get maybe breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it's expected. But still, someone is paying for that. And the people that are saying thank you and aware of that not every team is getting all that treatment, just being thankful, appreciating what you have, I think is top.
all the little things, like picking up your trash, picking up someone else's trash on the bus. I mean, how, because at Springfield, what we would say all the time is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Remember
Hmm.
that like cutting corners thing that we had
Yep.
on the lawn? Yeah. If you cut a corner or cut through a sidewalk and walked on the lawn, then you were literally screamed at and you were,
Yeah.
yeah, like yelled
The
at.
worst person.
Yeah. The policy was like, "Oh, if you're cutting corners here, then where else are you cutting corners in life?"
Yep. A big one for us is find it better or leave it better than you find it.
Mhm.
So, yes, that water bottle might have been under the bench when we got here, but we're the one leaving it and it's going to be a reflection on us. So we're going to take it and put it in the trash.
Right. And so you teaching them so much more than just picking up trash, like how to be the bigger person, how to
Yep.
do something that might not be fair. No, it's not fair. You didn't leave that mess, but so what? It's your field, it's your area, it's your world. Pick it up.
Yeah. I think it's like when you're wearing your school's brand or your high school's brand, you're not gonna
Mm,
throw trash away. Well, you shouldn't anyway, but when you're wearing something that you're representing something bigger than yourself, I think it's especially important because it's not just you, it's all the alumni, it's everybody that works at the school, it's everybody that had worked at the school.
right. A constant reflection.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember in college, we had like all those Barstool accounts. They they posted a video of volleyball team doing dancing or something. And our coach got on us for it because it looked really bad on the school. And so
Mm,
we like took it down, deleted it and all that good stuff. But it really does show, especially at small schools like RPI and Springfield and Alma. I mean, word gets around so fast.
yep. Yep, for sure. So that's why when recruiting, gotta find good humans so that you're not just acting a certain way when you have the t-shirt on. That is who you are to your core.
Show them who you are, not what you can do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the talent obviously is an important aspect, right?
For sure. Yep. Very important, but you
Controllable
don't wanna invite someone in and know that they're not gonna represent you well.
or right, develop a good culture. So as we wrap up, any just last minute advice, words of wisdom to leave future collegiate athletes, high school athletes, and just college athletes now?
Yeah, I feel like just listen to your coaches, but also ask the questions, find what drives you and what's gonna drive you each day
Hmm,
or week, and remember to have fun and enjoy it because college athletics doesn't last forever, unfortunately.
right. It goes by quick.
It does. You
Yes.
think they're crazy when they're telling you your freshman year that it goes by quick, but it goes by quick.
Yeah. I never want athletes looking back going, why did I care so much about that mistake or being perfect or what coach was thinking? Like, I don't want them looking back in 10 years going, I wish I had approached that.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big thing for soccer, like, "Oh, I missed that pass," but the game is way bigger than that, like,
Mm,
one pass that you made that no one can remember is gonna be okay.
right. Nobody else is thinking about it. Just you are.
Yep,
Yeah.
just you.
Well, thank you so much, E. This was so fun. If any athletes have questions for you, do you want to drop your email?
For sure, feel free to reach out. It is ready2@rpi.edu.
Ready to REDDIE 2, number 2 at
Mhm.
edu. Perfect. And athletes, for more one-on-one sports psych help, email me. It's in the show notes as well. Georgia at rootedsportspsychcoach.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk next week.